I mentioned discipline earlier, and I will say it again. Every day, almost every day, Temi was on set. And she will wake up before 6 a.m. every day. And then she will go and she lives in the night every day. And also sometimes, once I feel that, okay, maybe she's tired, or maybe, her reaction, or maybe she's tensed, and I was like, okay, let's move it to tomorrow. She said, no, let's do it, and all of that. So this, if you keep getting this from someone, there is no way you will not want to keep them on your set, because that is what you call pure discipline and passion. So, Jimmy, can you please tell us, what was it like working with, you've been around for like 3 decades, you've been doing this, so you're so experienced, you've worked with, God knows, with the best of the best. Now on this set, you met with Temi, who is new and fresh, and the chemistry was so good. And how were you? How did you bring yourself to a level and help to bring the full vision?
Yes, as you said, yes, maybe I've been fortunate enough to mingle and to act with some of the greatest, including Robert De Niro, Harrison Ford, Jennifer Lopez, Bruce Willis, and many other ones. I think first of all, the approach of filmmaking for me is always finding a way to have fun with it. And because you had already connected Temi and myself, we already had some kind of familiarity, because we spoke on the phone a couple of times before we actually met physically. And then when we met, for me, it was just like, all right, so we're going to be spending a couple of months together. We're going to be doing most of my scenes were with Temi. So it's like, how do we make that as comfy as possible? So I think the first few days we spent time rehearsing on most of the scenes. And I think what I tried to do is try to make her feel as comfy as possible. I guess to some level by being really myself and trying to infuse light moments in our relationship. Because at the end of the day, we're having fun. Even though we're having fun, but we're doing something extremely serious. But I want to add one more thing. For you, Temi, c'est pas fini.
And of course, we all saw the role Yomi played. Yomi is a legend. Yomi is a veteran. Yomi has been around for about 3 decades. But if someone calls you and they say, come and do this part, but you're not going to talk at all in the film. As a matter of fact, we considered some actors for that role, and then you talk to them and they will say, what's that? And they say, look, I'll say, you're going to have screen presence, but you don't have lines. They're saying, oh no, I've done this, I'll play lead, I did that, I'll play that, I've done this, and I'm like, okay, it's your call. Now look at that role. And I remember when I was talking to Yomi, and I said, Yomi, look, there's this role. I won't say it's, I'll say it's really not, because it doesn't have talking lines. And he said to me, he said, Kunle, but the best actors don't have to talk or say a word for them to express themselves. And I said, great. Even though they lost the case, even though the client was a mess, because a lot of the things, the atrocities that the professor, committed, he didn't run most of them by his lawyer or his representative, legal rep, which was why that one was asking that, did you do this in Senegal? And the professor got upset, like, leave me, Joe, so Yomi killed the part, and I just want people to understand, a lot of our actors out there, look, when when things are pitched to you, when things land on your lap, don't just look at it and just shush it. Don't say, oh, it's because I don't have talking role. I have just 2 scenes. How many scenes did Samuel Jackson, how many scenes did he do in Coming to America? How many? But that was one of the things that made him. Now, when it comes to post-production, post-production is one, post-production is another thing. Before now, I think it's before, the last audio post-production I did outside Nigeria was Phone Swap. After Phone Swap, from October 1, audio post-production we did in Nigeria. And the audio post-production for Citation was entirely done in KAP Studio in Golden Effects. So this is Anu. Anu is my brother. Yeah, Anu Afolayan. And Anu did the scoring, the Foley, the noise reduction, the mix, and everything alongside Kent. And Anu was also the boom guy on set. He worked alongside Pius.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Anu, as introduced. So for Citation, I did a lot of things. From the score part of the movie, I visualized everything on set. As a scene is being shot, I used to think about the music I would like to slot in a particular scene. It was very, very tough thinking about the kind of score, the kind of feel I will have to apply to the film. I did some scores which the director was not happy about. He had to cancel. I had to go back again and at least do what would suit the director. Even mixing for the first time for Netflix was very, very tough to very, very tough. But thank God we pulled through.
I have Kent Edunjobi here, who is an in-house musician, and he also he freelance. He sings and he composes, and he creates music. So for those of you who have seen the film, aside the 2 songs by Yusuf Ndu, the remaining 5 songs was done by Kent majorly, and we featured 2 other people. So Kent, can you tell us a bit about the journey? Citation journey.
Thank you, sir. For me, the Citation, the project was a really interesting one for me. It was interesting and challenging. I must say. I think I've not said this before, but I need to confess. At the time when the script was shared and I read the script, I fell in love with the story. I was like deep into the story, but I don't know, maybe anxiety or being anxious or something. At the point of we starting to shoot, because I like to be on set, so I was on set as well. So at the point of shooting, while we're shooting, I don't know what happened. I couldn't just write songs. I found it difficult. But one thing that I've learned over the years, like working with Mr. Kunle as well, is that you have to be patient, and it will definitely come. And you have to be deep when writing songs, especially for film, because you don't want your songs or your soundtrack to tell the story of the entire story of the movie. So I was patient, and for me, I think the lockdown period was a blessing for me, because it was during the lockdown that I wrote all the songs and did like 80% of the production. And I think it's a fresh challenge, because it's an advocacy film, so you need to be sure of how to address the music, and not just the lyrics alone, the mood of the songs, how you want the mood to hit people. You need people to connect, to the song, and not just having the song just pass by like that. And even your choice of instruments, those things, they are very, very key.
what is it that, okay, you thought, okay, this was what I wrote, but okay, it didn't come out that way, but it's not that bad, because some writers will say, oh, but that's not what I didn't write it like that. Why did he do it like that? But I know a lot of times I carry you along, especially when I make changes to the script. So what are some of those elements that you feel, okay, even though I didn't write it this way, but I think this has helped?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. I think it's mostly to do. I think the one I was really impressed with was the one where you took out a scene from. I think it was the Koijo Temi scene when they were talking about karate, and we moved that from the venue of the concert, and you took that off, and we now placed it at in Morimi Hall when she was escorting her back to the dorm. I think that worked. I wasn't really sure that would work out, but seeing it in TV, seeing it on Netflix the last few days, I watched it a few times. That's worked out really well. To tell the truth, all the changes kind of worked. They worked. There weren't that many. I mean, from final draft to what I see on screen, there's only about a 10, maybe a 5% margin of difference, because it really to stick to the material.
Yeah, thank you.
But was this the plan from the beginning, or did the pandemic cause you to pivot from your usual theatrical exhibition? And also, how has it played out for you as, the executive director? Okay.
Well, originally, because this wasn't commissioned by Netflix, so it was meant to be an indie film, produced by us, and then it's meant to start its own journey. But when we were filming, of course, Netflix came and they started asking questions about the film, and they wanted to know what we would like to do with the film. And for me, I love big screen. So I was really looking, as a matter of fact, I started talking to cinemas, and I was looking at August, for the theatrical release. But man proposes, God disposes. We finished filming in February, and then by March, pandemic was here. And then we were still hoping that, okay, we'll be able to, finish post-production on time and then still release. But by mid of the year, we realized that, look, maybe we should talk to these guys who have been showing interest, in the film. And that was when we took that decision. But I tell you for a fact that I don't regret my actions anyway, but we could have, because of course there was a projection when we were filming. There was a sales projection from the beginning. We thought, okay, maybe if we do cinema, we'll make this, then we explore the other window and make this. But now, putting it on Netflix, has exposed the film to bigger audience all over the world. Instead of us struggling and begging people to come to the cinema and doing cinema tour, just to convince Nigerians to even watch Nigeria film. That has been taken away, taken off our shoulder, and we've so the film is out. So, but really, like I said, I'm excited that it is on Netflix globally, and I've moved on to the next project.
The intentionality of Seun Kuti's concert, at the school, was there something? Because I know that at least from most of the movies we see, October 1, Figurine, and a lot of them, you are someone that really likes to bring Nigerian culture and incorporate art and culture into the movie. And so, is there really a big reason for the intentionality for you, wanting to just because the Seun Kuti's concert wasn't 1 minute. It was quite a long time. I enjoyed it, but I just wanted you to just explain, was there like an intentional reason for, wanting to show something like that? Thank you.
In those days, people organize shows and they always look forward to, attending. Shina Peter will come and play, live band all night. Pasuma will come and play in schools. you can't tell. We're telling a very serious story, and for me, I don't think we should just go all serious from beginning of the film to the end without considering some of the most realistic elements that you find in schools, in Citadel of Learning, whether polytechnic or university. As a matter of fact, in those days, in secondary schools, they used to take stage plays to secondary school. So for me, I used one stone to kill two birds. I wanted to bring, I wanted to immortalize Fela as an icon, and also as an icon not just in Nigeria but all over the world. Then Afrobeat and all of that, and to be as realistic as possible. A lot of people who attended or who finished from OAU will tell you that amphitheater, if you haven't watched any show there, then it means you're not a student of Ife. More so, all the people you see in this scene are extras, and some of them got paid. So will you bring these people, shoot that amazing, concert and cut it to 30 seconds? You will, in fact, even God will vex. So, but the important thing is, I don't think it slowed down the film. I don't think so.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here. Kunle, well done, Saikushe.
Sure.
All right. My question is this. When you dreamt of Citation, the Citation movie, and all of the characters and everything it was going to take you, what was your expectation of the duration for the shooting?
That is where adequate pre-production comes in, because if, for example, we didn't go to check all our locations out, and then you just have the script, and the next thing you are like, okay, we have the script, call the actors, and then you are then looking for location with your actors, and then you get to a place, they say you cannot shoot, you get to that place, they say no. So we started pre-production from, I think, November. We traveled, we went to Ife, we went to Senegal, we went to Cape Verde. We saw the locations, we met with people that we could collaborate with, and work with in those locations. And then we came back to really prepare. And then we set the date for the shoot.
I'm just very curious about the element of the mystical in your films, from the figurine to the CEO, October 1. There's always something very enigmatic, and even though Citation is moving away from what we know you to do, there's still that kind of mystical there, even when you were talking about Samba and the universe happening and all of that. So sometimes I just wish I could get into your head and understand why you do that, and also don't just do it thematically, but even cinematically, the way the camera moves. And secondly, just to ask, in this age of Me Too, Me Too movement, which Hollywood, as a lot of movies have been produced on Me Too in Hollywood, and one of my friends said this is a Nigerian or a Nollywood take on Me Too, and the movie is so topical and timely because just in 2 years ago in Nigeria, or in about 2 years now in Nigeria, we had a case of a lecturer in Unilag, and even at OAU, where the film was shot. So I guess my question is on that is, how would you relate Citation to Me Too movement, and what do you hope that the movie, would change or would challenge in the Nigerian academic culture? Thanks.
The first question about mystical and mystery and all of that, Emi o gbadun ni, shock okay, because that is how I am wired, really. And if you ask people who work with me, or if you ask my friends, they will tell you this. And that is why most times when I'm treating issues and topic, I try not to dwell too much into religion, because I believe more in life and in universe and in people, human. But I also believe that there are forces Now, these forces could, I mean, to some people, they tap their energy from the church or from the pastor or from the priest, all right? And to some people, the Muslims, they tap it from the imams and from Anopi Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you know, from Allah and all of that. And to the Hindus, they have theirs. To the Buddhists, they have theirs. And to the traditionalists, you know, you have the Ogun worshipper, Shango, Obatala, Oya, Yemoja, and all of these things. For me, I am a free thinker. And when you're a free thinker, you won't be biased. You will just, you know, for me, I believe that everything works together for good. And that is my own take. So when I make films, I put a bit of question marks here and there. As a matter of fact, for Citation, what I've been expecting, I haven't seen it anywhere, and nobody has mentioned it. When we were filming, I wanted to create a balance because I didn't want to outrightly portray the professor as the bad person. Because in universities, you also have the bad students. And Gloria is a typical example of that. So the same way you have professors chasing or hitting on students, is the same way you have students hitting on the lecturers. But the take home should be, even if the student comes after you, I mean, should you, hey, look at this in a school, a figure like this to lecture room and all of that, and you're saying this to the lecturer should not now, and she even came out point blank to say, look, she likes the guy. So there is some sort of, you know, balance. Now, the other one about sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and all of that, I'm glad that we got Ford Foundation to be part of this from the beginning. Because, as a matter of fact, it was through Ford Foundation that the idea and the pitch to tell the story came, you know. And then when we were filming, I didn't want us to use just a vague or an NGO name that is not that does not exist. So the Ajike support center that we use there is owned by the First Lady of Kwara State, and so if you have any issue with gender, you know, any gender issue and all that, you can always reach out to them. You know, so I think this will encourage a lot of people. And from the onset, I've always been saying this film is not to talk about the fact that these things happen. It's actually to talk about and encourage people on how to deal with it. If you find yourself in such a situation, how will you deal with it? See, Joke Silva, you know, represents the Ajike, you know, support center in the film. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, good morning from my own side of the world. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
I'm calling in from Canada.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, I must say I've always been a fan of your work, and I think I've been the town crier in this part of my world. Like, I've been screaming to my friends, go watch it. And I also attended OAU. So I was just screaming like amphitheater. It's been really fantastic. Then I must commend every one of your actors, everybody that made this happen. To me, it's my opinion, it was fantastic. Well entitled to our own individual opinion. Temi, you did well. I honestly could not believe this was your first time on screen. Like, then I studied French. So I totally connected, as in, I was just like, this is nice. Even I that studied French, I've not used it in over 15 years. I couldn't pronounce the words you were pronouncing. They were very, very well. What I wanted to ask Temi was, before the movie, was it that you already had a program, you had done something, maybe like a baccalaureate or something in French, or you just had to study for the movie? Because your pronunciations, I'm like, whoa.
Well, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup.
You're welcome. Dorian.
I really appreciate it. So I was actually lucky enough that during school, I just really took to languages. I really enjoyed doing Spanish, Italian, French. And French was the one that I really just tried to stick to. So I just made sure that, okay, when I was maybe like 16, I could maybe even say that I was really fluent. And then even doing this movie has taken me back to that level. And as I said, Jimmy was such a great help on set. My manager, Beauty, she is fluent in French because she's Congolese. So we would just speak, before set, we would just speak to each other non-stop. Even yesterday, we were speaking French a bit. So I'm just really happy that I came across, especially because I know a lot of French speakers have been watching the movie, and they're so excited to see that, okay, a film from Nigeria but that has Pan-African elements is really taking on that French. So I had a lot of help, but yeah, I love the language.
Okay, so I'll quickly round this up, and I'll do that by bringing on all our cast and crew who are present here for them to say one last thing.
A real pleasure to be part of Citation, and I'm very glad to see the kind of response we have.
I mean, it's simply been an honor with all you guys here and just being a part of the journey. Of course, this is only the beginning. The film has done its part, but we should continue to extend the message in our various and respective fields and spaces, so that we get better and better with one another. And so I wish you all the best, and long live our film industries and our fans and our audiences. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Adjetey.
I've worked with a lot of different directors, and I've turned down some jobs because I know that I can't work with those directors. But a lot of the time, working with you, Kunle, especially, you have a very strong, keen idea, and you're involved in all aspects of the film, and you encourage people to have an opinion.
You've been a very great team leader. It's been a pleasure working with you right from 2013, I think, October 1st. And churning out magic year after year has been, it's been bliss for those of us that have worked with you. And then we look to making more magic together.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, on that note, I would just like to thank everybody for being part of this. Once again, I say sorry for the fact that we started late. Tunde Babalola, thank you very much. Pius, thank you. Everybody, thank you very much for being part of this session. And to our followers, fans, and supporters out there, please, wherever you are, anywhere in the world, help us check if the film is trending in your zone, and then help us munch it and post it. The thing is, if the film is successful, it's going to encourage the streaming platforms to want to come and invest more and make more films here. This is not about, there's no competition, and I'm always saying this. I'm not in competition with anybody, and I don't think putting your film in cinema, it stops putting your film to stream. I don't think it stops the DVD sales. I don't think it stops YouTube from making its own, part of the revenue. So let us support and build this industry together. We appreciate you, and please help spread the good news. Thank you, and have a beautiful evening, everyone. Hurray.